Okay, let's be real for a second. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a dating Groundhog Day? Like you're dating the same person over and over just with a different face? Well, today we're going to dive into why that happens and, more importantly, how a simple mindful shift can help you break that cycle for good. And we're kicking things off with a number that might just hit a little too close to home. Check this out. Over 60% of people who are actively out there dating are doing it from a place of repeated patterns. They are literally stuck in a loop. So, you gotta ask yourself, are you one of them? Do you find yourself reliving the exact same relationship drama, the same arguments, the same heartbreaks, just with a different person sitting across from you? Which brings us right to our first section, dating on repeat. This is all about that sinking feeling that you're just living out the same old story with every new person you meet. You know, this line came directly from one of my clients. He had this huge aha moment where he realized all his relationships were basically identical. The exciting beginning, the same old conflicts popping up, and then the inevitable, painful ending. It was like he was living out a script he didn't even know he'd written. So that leads us to section 2, an uncomfortable truth. See, the reason we get stuck in these loops isn't because we're not trying hard enough. The real truth is, you can't think your way out of these patterns. Nope, you have to feel your way through them. And we're going to look at a powerful exercise that helps people do exactly that. And what's so game-changing about this is that it cuts through all the stories we tell ourselves. Instead of putting intellectual labels on everything like, oh, I have an anxious attachment style, participants were guided to just connect with the physical sensations. You know, that tightness in your chest, that knot in your stomach, the feelings that past relationships literally left behind in their bodies. All right, now for section 3, stories of transformation. This is where the magic really happens. Because once this group of people, men, women, all different backgrounds, shifted from their minds to their bodies, they had these absolutely profound breakthroughs. Let's get into their stories. First up, I want you to meet Ash. She came in identifying as a fixer. You know the type, always seeing the good in people, but constantly overgiving until she had nothing left for herself. And her realization? Wow, it was a total game changer. She wasn't being compassionate. She was literally erasing herself from her own life. And this right here is a perfect example of what we call the empathy paradox. She was swinging back and forth between partners who were way too selfish and partners who were super passive. But either way, the outcome was exactly the same. Ash's needs got completely abandoned. Next, there's Eriska. Now, she came in speaking fluent therapy talk. She had all the self-awareness, all the right labels, but the second she dropped all that and just tuned into what she was feeling, her whole world shifted. Her past wasn't a long line of failures anymore. Each relationship was actually a mirror to showing her a new piece of herself. And this is the golden nugget from her story. She stopped trying to diagnose herself and just started getting curious. For Eriska, dating completely transformed from this big problem she had to solve into an incredible journey of discovery. And finally, let's talk about Shane. He walked in totally resigned, basically saying, I'm done. He thought he could just outthink his emotions by burying himself in his business. But through this process, he uncovered this simple but incredibly profound truth. He also deserved to feel chosen. And his transformation was immediate. I mean, just hours after declaring he was completely done with dating, his body was already on a new path. This message he sent, not weeks later, but the very next morning. It shows a complete 180 from being closed off to being totally open and ready. So let's move on to section 4, from mind to body. These stories are just incredible, right? But how do they actually work? Let's break down the mechanics behind it all. For so many people, it all starts with this cycle. You overgive, you try to fix or save someone. In doing that, you end up abandoning your own needs. And then, inevitably, you feel unseen and completely undervalued. And before you know it, driven by all these old, unhealed fears, you just repeat the whole cycle again. And this right here is the heart of the mindful dating philosophy. This isn't about tweaking your dating profile or learning some new pickup lines. It's about healing the energetic root cause of your patterns. All that unresolved stuff from past experiences that you're still carrying around in your body. The key insight here is that your energy is basically like a broadcast signal. And until you change that frequency by healing those underlying wounds, you're going to keep attracting experiences that match that old, unhealed energy. It really is that simple. All right, Section 5, your turn to align. Hearing these stories is one thing, and I hope they've been inspiring, but now let's make this real for you. Let's talk about how you can start this journey for yourself. Because the results of doing this work are so real. You get that clarity that Eriska found. You build the confidence to set boundaries, just like Ash did, and you find that emotional peace that Shane discovered. And this doesn't just improve your dating life. Trust me, it improves the relationship you have with yourself. And you know what the best part is? You don't have to wait for some big event to get started. There are simple, really powerful steps you can take right now, today, to begin shifting your own energy. So here's what you do. First, start journaling your feelings. Become a curious observer of your own patterns. No judgment allowed. Second, anchor yourself in your body. Just use your breath to connect to right here, right now. And third, this one is my favorite, date yourself. Give yourself all the love and awesome experiences you're hoping to get from someone else. This beautiful affirmation comes from the workshop's closing meditation, and I want to invite you, right now, to just take a breath and really feel the truth in these words. This isn't just some nice thing to say, it's a declaration of the standard you absolutely deserve. And you know, that's what this all boils down to. You don't have to fight your patterns or beat them into submission. You just have to decide to meet them differently, with compassion instead of criticism. That right there, that's where the real transformation begins. So, if these stories hit home for you, and if you feel ready to stop repeating the past and start creating a future with an aligned partner, then the next step is right here. It's time to join the community and experience this work for yourself. It's about finally attracting the love you've always wanted without losing who you are in the process.